Thank you so much for joining us for our MTSU Alumni Lunchtime webinar, Safe and Positive Social Media Use for Families. I am Rachel Helms. I'm one of the assistant directors at MTSU Alumni Relations. We are so happy to have Rainbow Saupe here today, who runs these workshops for parents here in Murfreesboro. Ms. Rainbow is also famous in my household because she is the librarian at Erma Seigel Elementary, and my second grader loves her to pieces. But before we get started, I just wanted to say thank you to our alums. You are a vital part of our university community, and we are grateful for all the time and work you put back into MTSU. We have so many events coming up this spring and the summer. Our annual Alumni Summer College is open for registration. We are celebrating our country's 250th anniversary with classes, food, and a trip to see Hamilton and Nashville. Our annual Alumni Spring Showcase, it kicks off next week. We still have room in our student cooking class and our rock and roll monologue lecture. Plus, there are so many things going on in the next 2 weeks, I can't even list them all. So please check all this out on mtalumni.com. Just some housekeeping stuff. You are all on mute, but please drop questions in the chat as we go. I'll be happy to read those out loud to Ms. Saupe. Now, on to our topic. Rainbow Saupe is a teacher, librarian, and media specialist at Murfreesboro City Schools, where she has served since 2022. She holds a Master's of Science in Information Science from the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. She brings a strong background in education and administration, having previously worked with the Rutherford County Extension Agency, 4-H programs, Head Start, and homeschooling co-ops. She is passionate about fostering learning, digital literacy, and safe technology use for students and their families. Welcome. I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Like Ms. Helms said, I'm Rainbow Saupe, and I am the teacher librarian at Erma Seigel Elementary. I love my job and feel privileged to be able to serve the children here. I also am what's called a Future Ready Librarian, which works with Future Ready schools. And they have worked with the International Society for Technology and Education to come up with some workshops on digital literacy. And so this is one of those workshops about introducing screen time and social media to children. So let me share my... Let me get my computer up, sorry. Let's see. Of course, we practice this, and of course I'm, okay, okay, here we go.
You're welcome to take your time. We are all happy to.
Oh, I need to hit present, okay. We did this.
It should be a share.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. There's your computer.
There we go. Okay.
Perfect.
Sorry about that. Okay. All right. So today we'll be discussing navigating screen time and social media use as a family. And we will be discussing what screen time is, social media's impacts on children, identifying strategies for setting healthy time limits, building a family media plan, and a lot of data-driven tools to help your family. So there are tools online that can help you create these family plans together. And let's see. So what is screen time? I think a lot of us will think of screen time as entertainment, like movies, videos, video games, things like that, as well as social media and communication tools. A lot of people don't also think of it as educational or creation tools as well, but it does include any type of educational apps, even homework online, anything where they are in front of a screen, like creating digital art, things like that. Even if it's not just for pure entertainment or social media uses, if they're in front of a screen, it is considered screen time. There is a lot of linked articles in here. This one is how much screen time is too much, and we will actually get into the recommendations in just a moment. And then obviously there are both concerns and benefits to screen time. There are a lot of educational opportunities. Digital literacy in the future is going to be very important, obviously, as we continue becoming more of a global society. The digital aspect of it is growing, and so those skills will be important. These generation of children are native to the digital landscape. So it's going to be important for them to continue, and also that it does offer creative expression and social connections. So they will be able to keep those social connections throughout their life, which is a positive impact. But there are studied concerns like sleep disruption. A lot of children don't get adequate sleep because of screen time. It does reduce their physical activities. It can result in behavioral issues and social development impacts as well. And then setting healthy limits for screen time is really age dependent. And all of these are linked. You will get access to the slideshow. And so all of these studies and articles are linked in that as well. But this is the American Academy of Pediatrics, their guidelines, and they have come up with some new guidelines in 2025 as far as what is recommended. And this is this article here offers all of their research as well as several articles that came up in connection with their research, but they do have what is called periods of developmental sensitivity. And so certain ages are development periods that are going to be riskier than others to have that screen time. The type of device used, and also there are demographic and contextual factors that go into the relationship between screen use and well-being. So it's well documented and well researched, and they do have certain guidelines. So they have these age-appropriate limits, and right here is a good just infographic that will be in the handouts for the recommended screen limits from American Academy of Pediatrics. So they do recommend that, but younger than 18 months, that are not no screens are still best for kids under 18 months. The exception is live video chatting with family, because that live video, or friends, that live video chatting does offer children at that age that facial expression that is important to them. They need to be able to look at faces and recognize faces, and so that's an exception. But other than that, they do not recommend screens for 18 months or younger. Between 18 months and 2 years, that you can have limited screen time, but not solo use. They want you to avoid solo use. So if a child between 18 months and 2 years is engaging with screens, hopefully they're engaging with you or somebody else. And then they recommend that you choose high quality educational programming, and that you watch with the children to understand and to ensure that they're watching quality programming. Between 2 to 5 years, it's best to limit 1 hour per day. And then parents should also continue to monitor to make sure that what they're getting, that what the children are getting is appropriate. 6 years and older is when you need to, it really becomes family dependent, and you just need to place consistent rules on the time and the types of media that they consume, and that you don't let it affect their sleep, exercise, or other behaviors. And kids 6 years and older, and the older they get, are really, really great negotiators. So it's best to have family media free zones. like meal times or places. So they can be times or places, like meal times or the dinner table. Things like that. It's best to have like zones that either are times and or places. And then you want to continue always the discussion of online citizenship and safety online needs to be a constant communication, needs to be a constant discussion in your household. And then, so setting those age appropriate limits. And then again, as we discussed, the content matters. You want quality content. And that is really hard to monitor really know that they're getting quality content if you're not monitoring them. So we really want to monitor their usage under the age of 5. And then offer those clear time boundaries. Excuse me. Sorry. Those clear time boundaries, and also have tech-free zones in your home. There are family media plans that you can,
Welcome to the
this is
Family
sorry.
where you can easily create a personalized plan that works within your family's values and busy lifestyles. The tool is available in English and Spanish. Want to use the tool like an app on your desktop? Simply click on the icon in your browser and select Install. This will allow instant access to your plan anytime, anywhere, and from any PC with an internet connection. On your mobile phone, if you have an Android, simply use Chrome to navigate to the Family Media Plan. Once there, scroll down and select Add Family Media Plan to home screen. You can also tap the 3-dot overflow menu in the top right corner and select Install App. Chrome will add the application shortcut to your home screen. For iOS users, navigate to the Family Media Plan in Safari, then tap the Share button, tap Add to Home Screen, and then tap Add. The Family Media Plan will show up on your home screen like a native iOS app. Here's how it works. To get started, create a profile for each member of your family, adults too. Include their names and ages. You can even add fun avatars for each family member. Add as many family members as you need. Click or tap on the Continue arrow to move through the tool. Next, you will find a list of media priorities to choose from. They are all selected by default, but you can unselect them if you prefer to choose only those priorities that are most important to your family. Click or tap Continue. The tool will now move you through each priority you selected and offer ideas and tips to help you make the plan work for your family. The progress bar above shows the priorities you selected. Click on any of those to move forward or back through the tool. You can even go back and add priorities if you skipped any. On each priority page, you'll see a list of ways to implement these priorities. Simply click or tap on the Reasons Tips button on each suggestion to learn why it's important, along with how to make it work and other helpful tips. Tap or click on which child you want to apply the suggestions to. You can easily select them all at once or clear and choose one at a time. Once you've gone through each priority, you're ready to review your family media plan. Each family member has a tab with the tips you selected. You can choose to print your plan, or if you are logged in, you can easily share your plan by email or text. If you have not registered on healthychildren.org, don't worry, it's quick and free. At any point you decide to make changes to your plan, simply go back in, make your desired changes, and review. In fact, it's a good idea to update your plan for things like school breaks, or as your children get older. Another great idea? Print your plan and hang it on the fridge, or somewhere in your home to remind you and your family about your plans. Get started today and put the Family Media Plan to use in your family.
Okay, that was a family media plan that is sponsored by AT&T. They have it, which is a good family media plan. There are others online. That one is also endorsed by healthychildren.org, as well as the American Academy Association of Pediatrics, and or the AAP. Sorry, and so that is just one of them that's really easy to use, and it's great because it does allow you to select priorities for your family. So it will give you different suggestions based on the unique priorities of your family. And so that family plan can be found here at the American Academy of Pediatrics. And it is linked, it's at healthychildren.org media plan, but it is also linked right here under that Create Family Plan. Under that Create Family Plan. And then under my handouts as well, there is a printed version if you want to do something together as a family and have a physical copy. But once you have set those goals and created that plan, you want to review the plan regularly, because obviously, you know, once a child gets to age 6 and they're getting to school, things start changing rapidly, and their needs and desires grow as well. And like I said, they are great negotiators and are always trying to negotiate with you. Or in my case, my children, they're older now, but they were really great at trying to negotiate out of the restrictions that we tried to place on them. So you can always review it regularly, but also know that the research is on your side to limit screen time. And so come at that with the knowledge that they're children, and they're gonna want more. Now that's on screen time, and then introducing social media. This is just a graphic that came out a couple years ago, or a study that came out a couple years ago, where parents reported what age they would allow their child to use social media unmonitored. And I show that here because it only says 3.61% of elementary school parents would allow their child to use social media unmonitored. However, we think of traditional social media as things like Facebook and TikTok and Instagram and Snapchat. And it is true that a lot of elementary school students don't have unlimited access to that, especially unmonitored access to that. However, Minecraft, Roblox, any type of game that also also has a social I can't think of the word, like component, a social component, that can be considered social media as well. So even though they don't, elementary school children don't have access, unlimited or unmonitored access to Facebook, Instagram, things like that, a lot of them are getting unmonitored access. A lot more than 3.61% are probably getting unlimited access to social media without us really even understanding that. And then obviously in middle school, that probably goes up quite a bit. I don't think anybody is surprised that 95% of youth over the age of 18 are using social media. But when do we want to introduce social media? This is a good article on from, again, the AAP, that talks about the good and bad of social media use. There are benefits of social media use, like the social connection, being able to express themselves very individually, having community support, having access to interest-driven exploration. Just, there are a lot of benefits to social media, but there are risks as well. We do know that there is quite a bit of cyberbullying online, and that teens are susceptible to that the earlier they get into social media, as well as there is a lot of body image and disordered eating that is heightened by social media use. There's harmful content, not just on social media, but anywhere online. But unfortunately, they can get exposed to a lot easier, and through social connections. And then obviously unwanted contact. Again, that's something that can happen a lot on those game sites like Roblox and Minecraft, where they're getting those unwanted social contact. It can also just disrupt sleep and cause digital stress. And there's some really great references that can be found on this as well. This will have all of the, this article has all of the references that you can find if you would like to dig into a little bit more of the research behind that. And let's see here. And then again, there are guides and workshops that can be found. Common Sense Media, AT&T Screen Ready, Future Ready Schools, the Center for Social Media and Youth Mental Health. It's part of the AAP. And then the Achievery is created by AT&T, and that has a lot of good content in there that's not just digital literacy, but also just learning about, well, a lot of it is digital literacy, but there is a lot of interesting content in there as well. They also have video tutorials on how to set up parental controls on your devices. All devices and or phone plans do have ways for you to set limits on minors' usage of the device. And so there's a lot of great information on that. I feel like I missed a slide here. Okay, sorry. Okay. Sorry, I'm running through this pretty quickly. But there are, so either your phone itself or your phone carrier will have ways for you to set up specific limits, screen limits, and also content limits on phones for when you are ready to give them a phone. And that is why I know there was a link in here where there is when should my child get a phone? Like, when does I'm nervous. I'm not good at talking to adults. Okay. There is let's see. Oh, there is a link in somewhere. It's through, I think it's through AT&T Screen Ready. Oh yeah, right. Yeah. Your child's first phone, are they ready? Are you ready? And so there's just these questions right here at screenready.att.com/digital parenting that you can go through and just discuss or just kind of get an idea, like, are they ready for a phone? Are they not ready for a phone? And obviously you want to always keep your family in mind and your child in mind, because these are going to be questions geared towards the large percentage of the population. And so your child has specific needs that you want to make sure that you're keeping in mind. Yeah. So there's on all of these, they are linked to different resources and different articles that help you understand more about creating a tech plan for your family. And again, like video tutorials on how to set up those parental controls on those various devices, or if you need to contact your phone plan, or if your phone comes with those already preloaded. I know iPhones do, and I know that Samsungs do as well, but it depends also on the type of phone you have. But even if your phone doesn't, your phone plan should have apps that you can download on their phone to make sure that that you have control over the content and the time that your child is allowed to access on the phone. Now, something else that is recommended is support groups. There's not a lot of great support groups that are just available online. There are like Facebook groups and things like that that you can join. But if you can find other parents through your school that are in the same situation, connecting with other parents who are facing similar challenges at the same age that your children are, or even a little bit older, so they can kind of tell you what they've been through. It's a really helpful resource to have other parents who kind of know what you're going through, because things are changing so often, especially with what is going on legally. The legal landscape of this is probably going to change pretty quickly. There was a lawsuit that was just recently won where Meta and Facebook was held liable for a child's outcome, like their depression and anxiety. So I think a lot of the legal landscape of this will be changing pretty quickly. And so it's great to have that support of other people who may be going through the same thing, and maybe have read something or know something that maybe will help you and your family in that situation. Because again, not only is the landscape of the social media and technology changing so quickly, but also there's going to be a lot of the legal landscape of this is going to be changing as well. So try and stay updated on that, and having parents to support you, other parents to support you, will be helpful. So right now, what you can do for your next steps is create a family media plan, and there is that one that AT&T is linked on here, but there are other ones that you can use online. So I would sit down and just create that family media plan, see what will work for who in your family and what needs for each individual are, and then schedule a family meeting so you can discuss this. And it's never too early to discuss this with your family. If they are already on screens, then it should be a family discussion. So schedule that family meeting and let your kids know what is going to be expected and what's going to be the plan in the future. And then you need to set up those controls. And again, you can get those controls through your phone or through an app. And there's many video tutorials online of what is best. If you can get it strictly through your phone, that is probably the easiest way to go. But there are apps available if your phone doesn't have those, and your cell phone plan should have one recommended. And then continue to follow up with your family and be diligent in reviewing their usage. Make sure that you are adapting as they grow older, because as they grow older, it is going to change. And so just have it be that constant discussion in your home, and review as needed. And so if you have any questions, you're welcome to ask, and I will do my best to answer. And we will send you all that, send you the presentation, as well as some handouts that you can go through to get that information. I know there was a lot of information in different websites. So all of that will be sent out to you. But if you have any questions, you're welcome to ask.
Well, as we wait for folks to type in the chat or in the Q&A, guys, just drop any questions you have in there. So I know my daughter has an iPad that she's allowed to have, like maybe only on the weekends, and we let her have it like for a couple of hours, and she's only supposed to watch certain things. YouTube Kids seems to be something that she's obsessed with, but I have found that algorithm can really go crazy
Yeah.
in the fact that she starts getting inappropriate material.
Right. And that,
Can you talk a little bit about that, or?
yeah, that's why monitoring is always important. Even it's hard, especially at this age, to be able at, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, to be like constantly monitoring them. But YouTube Kids is one of those apps that parents just automatically assume are going to be safe because it's like YouTube Kids, right? Unfortunately, things do fall through their cracks. Their algorithm is not foolproof. And I think things, like I said, things are going to have to change legally. The landscape of that is going to have to change pretty quickly as more and more social media companies are going to be held liable for their content. But yeah, YouTube, it is because it's short form content. It is considered social media use in a way that it is this short form content like TikTok or something, where it's just that algorithm is going to keep going, and they're not going to always be shown appropriate content, unfortunately. So that is one of those websites that, or apps, that really has to be closely monitored, unfortunately.
Or just removed altogether,
Or,
right?
yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
But
It's like, some of them are better than others, and YouTube Kids, unfortunately, is not great. Like Netflix Kids, things like that, they have a little bit more control over what they can allow on there. But YouTube, whatever is uploaded, they highly depend on the person uploading it to determine its content. And and they do have AI to try and help that as well, but again, it's fallible. And unfortunately, there's so much content uploaded to YouTube all of the time that it's much more fallible than,
right,
like,
impossible to keep up with.
yeah. So that's one that I probably would personally shy away from. Again, my kids are older. I wish I had known all of this when my kids were younger.
Right.
But yeah, because it does, and kids kids talk to me about kids YouTube all the time, and I'm like, eeh. Like, I even turned on a Lego cooking video that was on kids YouTube once, and so I thought, oh, Lego cooking and you kids YouTube, it would be fine, and all of a sudden it was like very violent. And
That's what I found too, is
yeah.
that suddenly it'll turn into something, and you'll be like, it'll be the violence and the
Yeah.
language suddenly just comes out of nowhere, and you're like, before they were watching something that was like very
Innocuous, yes.
Thank you.
So
Well, and
yeah.
you were also talking about legal consequences, and something I had read a while back, and correct me if I'm wrong, is it Australia that has actually sort of made social media illegal for children under a certain age?
Yes, yeah. Australia is kind of leading the legal landscape in protecting children against social media, and trying to make sure that they're, that the kids are protected. And so there is, definitely discussion to be had about that, and a lot of opinions on either side, because a lot of people think that it should be up to parents and not up to the government. But then again, you know, if parents don't like I didn't know better. So if parents, if companies are, you know, not being like Google, they found, or Meta, excuse me, they found them to be doing things that were purposefully harming children, like knowingly making children addicted to their content or their algorithm. And they knew that this was happening, and yet they let it to continue. Well, as a parent, you don't know what's going on in those companies. So, you know, should we rely on the government to put those boundaries? Because as parents, we may not know. So, but yeah, Australia is really has really taken a lead there as far as being very restrictive with their letting, you know, making sure their minors are a little more developed in the brain developed before they start
Right.
getting introduced to social media.
Well, because that was what was I found interesting was with the case that just happened with Meta finding them responsible,
Yeah.
whether or not it'll ever go that extreme here. And I don't even know how you monitor that, like how you even go about restricting it. You know what I mean? It's I didn't know how. I haven't looked into it enough to see how Australia has done that. So
Yeah, I don't know how they are doing it. Other than like, because like right now in America, 13-year-olds aren't supposed to have, like anybody under the age of 13 isn't supposed to have social media, and but it's clear it's only monitored through family and through like putting a birth date, right?
right.
So clearly children can lie. I had a niece once and I was like, why are you 37 on on Instagram? And then I realized, oh, it's because she lied about her birth date when she first signed up for Instagram. And so now it's caught up with her and she's 37 on Instagram. But so, you know, and then again, if parents don't have the controls set up on the devices to not download Instagram, then kids, you know, can lie. We don't want to think of our children as kids who would do that, but
Oh,
they
mine
do.
lies all the time.
Oh,
I love her dearly, but
so
so we do have another question here. What suggestions do you have for video games and length of time? I have a child who likes to play with friends. The amount of time and the friends is monitored, but it's also a way to connect with peers. So is there?
yeah. Yes, that's a good question. I mean, if they're under the age of 5, it still should only be an hour. That's the recommended time. Um, and that social media aspect of it is also is what's concerned. If you're monitoring the children, so you know that they're only connecting with people that they know, that's always the best. But over the age of 6, again, there's no recommended time, except for making sure that it doesn't disrupt their sleep, that they're still getting a good night's sleep, making sure that they still have physical activity, and making sure that it's not affecting their mood. And that's the hardest one for me, is because it's like, you know, as my kids were growing up, I'm like, well, why are they moody? Is this just adolescence, or is this because they're spending too much time on screens? And that's a really hard thing to know, because it's very subjective for each child. And I wish I had a clear answer, but it really depends on your child's age and your child's social maturity and their ability to regulate themselves. And so that's why after the age of 6, it's really highly dependent on you knowing your child. And that's a hard, because we want there to be hard and clear rules, to be like, nope, this is it. And I wish there was, would have made my life a lot easier and everybody's life a lot easier, but it's really highly dependent on your child. If you don't feel like it's affecting your child's mood, sleep, or physical activity, and they are only connecting with people that you know and are familiar with, then just go with your gut.
Absolutely. Well, we have a question here. Is there a way to access this slideshow? Please know tomorrow you're going to receive an email from me that's going to have, I believe, the slideshow, correct?
Yes.
And as well as handouts for you to refer to. So you'll receive those tomorrow via email. And if there's no other questions, I think we are good. I really appreciate your time, Ms. Saupe. This has been great.
I hope they can, everybody can get some good information. I wish, like I said, I had
Absolutely.
hard and fast rules for you. But
Well, we understand this is still kind of the wild, wild west in a way, so.
it is, it really, really is, unfortunately.
Absolutely. Well, everyone, as I mentioned, you'll receive a link tomorrow from me to the recording as well as the slides and the handouts. Our next webinar will be on May 6th. Our Center for Human and Health Services is offering a QPR suicide prevention training. It's 3 simple steps anyone can learn to help save a life from suicide. It's all free to alums. It's fully online, takes about an hour and 15 minutes. That link for registration will go up early next week on mtalumni.com. Ms. Saupe, thanks again for your time.
Thank you, guys.
And I hope everyone has a wonderful afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.